Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy time zone, friends. How are we doing? How is everyone's Friday going? Hello, Harry. Hello, hello. Happy Friday to you. Okay, my blanket's all twisted. There we go. There we are. How you doing, Harry? I hope your Friday is going well so far. Words are coming very slow to my brain. Let's hope I wake up a little bit with this coffee. I've got my Luke smug today. Gilmore Girls. Oh, elbowed the mic. Hopefully that wasn't an obnoxious sound. Sorry if it was. It's a tiny mug, though. I'm used to my bigger coffee mugs. I spilled coffee all over myself trying to carry this today because I was like, this is a small mug. I need to fill it all the way. And then I spilt it on myself and I still didn't have as much coffee as I wanted. Words aren't flowing for you either. Fair. Why don't we all hydrate? That might help. Hydration might help a bit. No kitty on the kitty cam. Where's my babies? Mulder, Scully, baby, where are you? I hear him running in. There he is. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come sit up here with me. Look, the stool's right here. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Hey. Hey. Up here. Want to come up? Sweet boy. He's like, unless you're giving me catnip, I'm not interested. I don't have it over here. All I've got is pets. I've got scritchies. You want scritchies? Want scritchies? No, not really. Okay. I guess he doesn't want scritchies this morning. He's doing his own thing. Hey, Mitchie. Hello, hello. Happy Friday. So, I want to do some exploring. I want to do some archaeology mainly. I want to bring my little copper brush, the brush will sprout, and get a whole bunch of goodies. That's what I want. And later today, we might be doing a little something with something. A little something something with a little someone someone. Hello, Zeri. Good morning, afternoon, evening, time zone to you. Happy Friday. Cat law demands that they disobey all instruction. This is true. This is true. Have I dropped? I want to drop. Oh, so close, Zeri. So close. I'm gonna drop. I'm also gonna drop Scully. Let's see if this one lands in the snow pile. That'd be cute in the snow pile with the little arms up. He is hyper focused on something outside of the room right now. I wonder if Mulder's standing in the hallway where I can't see him. I can't see. Oh, I missed two. Mitchie's dropping. Mitchie's dropping. Let's see if Mitchie lands. Oh. Oh, just outside. So close. So close. We'll just have to practice today. We're getting there. Those weren't bad drops. I'll say that much. All right, what do I have going on in my inventory? A bunch of dirt. Oh, I remember. I was doing some work across the way by the barn. Let me show you what I was doing. I'm gonna leave this box here for now. We're not bringing that with us. But across the way, I did some work on the front, like around where the barn and stuff sit. It's not just dirt anymore. See how it's just dirt over there? I added a bunch of stone and some bushes, and Scully just jumped up. Hold on, let's... Oh my god. Fly. There we go. Let's see some rocks and bushes. Ta-da! It looks better from afar than it does up close. And I also replaced all the fences with the white fence, because that seemed to match with the barn. Yeah. And I think I placed a few more hay bales up here, because this wall looked weird. So I covered it up with hay bales. But mostly I did this. I added some stone, some mossy cobble, some moss, and some bushes so you don't just run off the ledge here. I like it. I think it looks a little better. Hey, Mario. Hello, hello. How are you? Also, Kitty. 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 Scully. Pee-pee. What are you doing? Can you face this way instead of just showing off your butt? No? Hey. Boo-boo. He's a good boy. Want to sit in my lap for a second? Lap cat. You're stuck in my sweater. There we go. I've got a kitty cat. Here's my kitty cat. He's my boy. Have to go to work soon. Ah, boo, work. Well, thanks for stopping by. Oh, he's my Scotty. This is my thumb boy. My thummy boy. He's got thummies. He's like, don't show off my thummies. These are my thummies. What are you doing? What are you doing? You hide it? You hide in your face? Oh my goodness. He doesn't usually let me hold him for long. This is nice. He's gonna realize soon. He's gonna realize that he's in my lap and he's gonna leave. Oh, there's cat hair everywhere. And my headphone wire is wrapped around him. Yay, cat hair. I'm gonna have to vacuum. Oh, he's got the little rainbow on him from the window. And he's gone. He's a good boy. He's my sweet boy. My Scotty. Oh god, there's cat hair everywhere. Hopefully not in my coffee. Oh, goodness gracious me. Kitty cat acquired. Achievement unlocked. Yes, I temporarily had the kitty cat, and then he left. But you know what? That was better than nothing. Better than nothing. But I like the switches I've made here. At first I wasn't sure. I thought the white was like too much. But I think I like it now. It pops more than it did when it was just the mangrove. And it matches the colors of the lighthouse. That's what that's called, the lighthouse. So, I like it. Let's go home. I'm gonna restock on some stuff. And we're gonna go exploring. Because I want more sherds and armor trims and all that. I want to go find some suspicious sand and some suspicious gravel. So, we need rockets. How's my Elytra? Pretty fine, but let's bring like a stack of these with us just to repair as we go. What belongs here? I feel like I'm missing stuff. So, Silk Touch, Fortune. Arrows? Torches? Okay. Grab some rockets. There's probably a quieter way to do this. But I made my own redstone, and I'm sticking with it. We can do a little more. Is this one full? That one has the full stack. Okay, that's enough for now. I'm just gonna put stuff back where it goes here. And there. And let's go. I should probably sleep. And maybe we should grab a boat. A boat and a bed. Boat and a bed. And also my, Brussels sprout. There we go. No, let's bring our spyglass too. Technically, it's all coming with us in the ender chest, but... bed. And a boat. Do I not have a boat over here? Thought I had a boat in here. Apparently not. We can grab one of the ones from outside. There's a few of them. What do we want? Let's bring the bamboo raft. I never used this one. Okay, bring that with us. Think we're good. Think we're good. Let's just fly and see if we can find some, like, some of the underground, the underwater ruins. Because I think for the sherds, we need a lot of the ones from the... That's not my rocket. That's not my rocket. For the sherds, I know we need a lot of the underwater ones. And there's also a few of the ones from the trail ruins that we need. So we're gonna watch the water and see what we can find. Can I offhand this? Probably not. You should be able to. Alright, there's an ocean monument. Oh, the neighbor's dog is flipping out right now. Bark, 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 bark. What is that? Nope, that's just terrain. Where's all of the ocean ruins? Is that a geode? Or a ship? It's a ship. Has someone been in here? Yes. It appears so. Oh. No, I'll take this. Sure. Why not? Goodies. And I'll take the chest too. So maybe nothing has been in here. Let's get some air. Oh, so many squids. Come here, squiddies. Oh, wow. There's been some tridents thrown over here. So somebody definitely has been in here. Maybe me. Might have been me, and maybe I just missed a chest. Alright, I'm just gonna collect that ink. So what's everybody up to today? Anybody got any fun plans for the weekend? Getting into trouble? Getting anything done you've been putting off? I've got bills to pay. That's what I've got. Where's all the ocean ruins? It's kind of hard to see them. Probably flown past several already. That's interesting terrain. What's that? Is that something? Is that just... That's just dirt. Or a portal? Portal! Wait, no, not portal. This is ruins. Excellent. Okay. Excuse me, drowned. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, I forgot my water breathing potions, but I think I have some in my ender chest. I meant to grab some, though. For now, we can just stand on the magma. Harry says, I'm just working today. Tomorrow we're working on building shelves for our bedroom. Oh, shelves. That's fun. Like, genuinely. Anything with additional storage? Excellent. I need to build some shelves. I have so many, like, things I want to put on display, but I just don't have anywhere to put them. Alright, that's a suspicious. It's an emerald. That one is one too. Oh, a sherd. Which one? Which one do we get? Shelter. I think we already have that one. But more isn't bad. Oops. Hopefully that didn't break any. Hey! Hey. Rude. Very rude. Which one's this? Angler! Ooh, that's exciting. I love fishing. There's quite a few here. Oh. Dude. 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 Did I lose the thing I was picking up now because of you? No, I got it. I picked it up. Oh, is this a... Oh, a sniffer egg. Not that we need it. We have several already and multiple sniffers that we could breed. But it's nice to have. None of that is... What's over here? There's one. Might read a book I bought. It's called A Book About Noises. Interesting. I haven't heard of it. Is it about noises? Here's one. What's that? Gold nugget, I think. Anything in here? Oh, there's one. It's a hoe. Hey. Rude. Now I suddenly have the hiccups. Alright, any more that's visible? I think sometimes there's multiple layers of it, so maybe we could do a little bit of digging. It sounded like I just broke one. Oh, another sherd. Which one? I hope it's another angler. It's not. It's shelter, isn't it? Yeah, we got 3 of those. Okay, so I'm gonna break with my hand because apparently I might have broken one that wasn't. That was already suspicious. Like, that one's suspicious. Is this another sniffer egg? Or, no? What was that? Oh, a piece of coal. Whoop-de-doo. You know what? I've about had it with all these round. I think a fish died. Ooh. What was that? Maybe another piece of coal. Any more? I wonder if it goes any further down. Jules is here. Hello, Jules. Happy Friday. How's your day going? Alright, are we good? We good? Maybe there's one under here. Let's see. Nope. Alright, where's the rest of it? There's more of it over there. Oh, there's actually... There could be some more under here, too. Let's start at the far end. This seems to be the furthest one. Oh, I think that's one. Oh, and it's a sherd. Who's hitting me? Get out of here. You two. Everybody leave me alone. Work meeting in 30 and then you're free. Yay! I'm just doing a little bit of archaeology here. Is that one? It's kind of hard to tell underwater when it's dark. That's gonna be wheat, isn't it? Whoop-de-doo. Here, that one. That's sandstone. Okay. There's a lot here. Oh, wow. I should really get my water breathing potions. Oops. Pick up all the floaty blocks, I guess. Root, go away. Go away. Get away from me. Oh, wrong way. Okay, ender chest. Oh gosh, my inventory. Goodness. Bundle. Wait, let's put all the sherds in the same bundle. Bundle, bundle, bundle. And all the mob drops in one bundle. Boop, 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 boop. And then all the junk in one bundle. And by junk, I mean not junk. Stuff. All the other stuff. Okay. Poach that down. Cathodora's miracle elixirs. Do I not have water breathing here? Excuse me? Oh, there's water breathing. Ah, we've only got a couple. Time for me to leave. Have a good one, everyone. See you around. Take care. You too, Mario. Have a good one. I will see you around, I am sure. Alright, a little bit of water breathing. There we go. There. That's better. What did I pick up? A fish. A fish is a fish is a fish. And all the other stuff. There. Okay, got 8 minutes of water breathing. Let's use it. So we've been in that one. I want to go into these ones that are further out. Ooh, that's some suspicious sand. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, I didn't know grass could grow on that. Is that another sniffer egg? Alright, this... Oh, I think this is 3 in a row. 1. Ooh, assured. 2. I think the one next to it is 2. 2. 3. Wow, I've never seen that much of the suspicious sand in a row before. Is this one too? Oh, well, hopefully not, because I didn't mean to break that. I was trying to break the grass. Oops. I didn't hear the sound, though, so I think we're fine. But the grass, I didn't realize grass could grow on the suspicious sand. Is this all just sand? Regular sand. Is that one? Oh, I think that one's one. Yeah. It's hard to tell in the dark. I'm sorry. It's a little dark down here. That's all regular. That's also regular. Okay, I think that's the end of this one. There was more over this way. Yes, all of this. Oh, hello. Goodbye. So much to this one. There's some. Yeah, some suspicious sand. Right? Boop. Is my inventory full again? Alright, so this is where we're putting the sherds. Oh, I got a second angler one and one of the sniffer ones. A bunch of wooden hose that we totally don't need. Excuse you. Excuse you. Who's hitting me? Can't you see I'm busy here? Another piece of coal. That's suspicious. What is that? Is that like a axe? I think it's an iron axe. Okay, that's not terrible. It's better than all the wooden hose. Another snort. So not a terrible haul on the pottery sherds so far. That's regular sand. That's suspicious though. I think it's another sniffer egg. Yeah, another sniffer egg. So many sniffers. Oh, thunderstorm. Wasn't expecting a thunderstorm. Headphone warning. I did turn down the volume for the weather sounds, but it's still a little noisy. Any more? No, not that. How about under there? Oh, there's one. I almost broke it. Rude. Where are you? Where are you? Hello? Was it the one I broke? Oh, gimme. Another snort one. Put that in there. That's all regular. Oh, that's suspicious. That's just coal. Not coal, copper. Put that in there.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Indeedly do. Is this all part of something? This is another sherd? Oops. Nope. Just a gold nugget. Alright, none of that looks suspicious. That is. What do we get? More coal? More coal. Dolphin, what are you doing? Alright, none of this appears to be suspicious. I think this is all just regular sand. But maybe under here? Nope, that's all regular sand. Sandstone. Oh, it goes a couple down though. Oh, my water breathing's running out. Anything over here? So it might be the end of this one. Guess we'll pick up all the random little things that got dropped. Let him help. Yeah, sorry. I didn't ask for any help today. Hi, Keldon. Hello, hello. Happy Friday. How you doing? Alright, let's get organized. I should probably take a shulker out. Did I? Where's... Did I leave an ender chest down there, or did I not pick it up? When I broke it. I don't see it. I hope that I got my potions box. Let's go on land. I probably broke it and didn't pick it up. Luckily, I keep a second one on me. This is why I always carry 2 ender chests. Because I can't be trusted. I don't think it's in any of these. Unless I put it in the wrong bundle. No. And this is why we carry extras. Alright, I did bring that one. Excellent. That's good. We got those. We've got a bunch of mob drops. I'm gonna put this in here too. And I think I'll take a shulker to put the blocks in. and all the junk. I don't know what. I'm probably just gonna get rid of this. Use it as fuel. So keep that on us somewhere. And break the ender chest. Put that away safely. There we are. Okay, on to the next one. Which way? Let's go this way. Just got home from a doctor's appointment. Apparently I'm still alive. What a diagnosis. Happy to hear you're still kicking, Keldon. So are you in weekend mode now, or do you have more work to do? It was good news for sure. Give it to me straight, Doc. Am I alive? Nope, that appears to be an ocean monument. I don't want anything to do with that. Is that also ocean monument? Or is this just... I think it is? Can't tell. Don't want to get too close. You have to work now. Boo! Boo, work. Boo. I hope the rest of your day is easy. Oh, I see a ship. Did I already explore this ship? No, there's like no nearby land. This is gonna suck. Oh, it's like a whole boat. No door, though. Oh. Maybe I've already been here. Chest. There's a chest. Gunpowder, I'll take that. I don't really need potatoes, but... I'll take the chest. What's down here? Oh, another chest. Bunch of books. Okay. Oh, a treasure map. Couple feathers, bit of paper. All right, there we go. Now we'll be able to fly. And I'll mark that this one has been visited with little torch. All right, so which way do we want to go now? Did I pick up anything else that we can put away? Odds and ends. Treasure map can go on the exploration one. All right, I think we need some of the cold water ones, so icy biome, probably cold water. So I might just go underwater with my water breathing potion. See if we come across anything. But I don't want to drink it too early, so. This is making me cold. All the ice, I'm like getting shivers. Not seeing anything of interest. Grab a bit of air. Is there nowhere to get back under here? Very icy. Much ice. Oh, nighttime. Let's sleep. Plenty cold here. It was in the 20s when I went out. Ooh, brr. It's in the 20s here right now, too. Too cold. Too cold. Alright. So, I'm just gonna fly. No, we could find. I believe that the spruce biomes are where we find the trail ruins. So maybe we'll find one of those. Oh, that's a portal. Let's see what's over here. Have we been over here? Berry bushes. A bell. Some golden carrots. I'll take those. Efficiency 1 axe. Couple pieces of obsidian. Let's just break the chest and take it. Burp. Also, I can get a little bit of this crying obsidian. Oh, I don't have my bucket of water, do I? Huh. Chest goes there. This can go... I probably have a bucket of water in my ender chest. Where, though? I feel like it's going to be in here. Yeah, there we go. All right, I just wanted to do this so I can get the crying obsidian. Ah, oh, Keldon's in the corner. Can I not reach that? Okay. Oh. Okay. I guess I probably don't need this bucket of water. So let's put that away. Put this. Berries drop in the bundle. Oh, berries. All right, let's see. Which way should we go? We're pretty far out. Maybe we should go... He's got berries in his mouth. Look at him. He ate them! He ate the berries! And he's gone. Go get these berries. That was cute. That was cute. Alright, I want more spruce. It's very snowy. I do love the way the leaves change when it's snowy. I just wish they stayed like that. This is a lot of spruce. Like a lot. Goodness. Does it ever end? Oh, it might be getting dark. Maybe we can sleep. Hello? Oops. Hello? Anybody home? Nice cozy house you have here. When's bed? Is it bed? Is it time for bed? Yeah? Not yet? Okay. Why is everybody hanging out inside? That's a lot of snowballs. Are you having a snowball fight later? Are you preparing? Oop. Ah. Have we already been in this one? What's in this one? Hello. What are you selling? Rabbit stew? Gross. I want to sleep. I feel like it should be sleepy times, but it's not. It's just cold. Just cold and icy. What is that? Oh, it's a tiny tree. Oh, look. More ice. Oh. Wait, is this the one we found? I think this is the one we found that was over the water. I mean, over the ice. Yeah. That's pretty cool, though. Oh, what's that? Any suspicious gravel? Hmm? Lots of gravel. Any of it suspicious? Is that suspicious? I think so. Which one's this gonna be? Come on, be a good one. Be a good one. Wow, rude. Rude. Get out of here. Did I get it? Explorer! I don't think I have that one. And I am Cathadora the Explorer, so... It's about dang time. It's about dang time we found that one. Alright, all this seems like regular. Is there no... There's no magma blocks for me to stand on? Is that one suspicious? I like can't see. Is this regular? That's regular. That one's regular. Okay. Oh, this one's suspicious. What's this? All right, have a good meeting, Jules. Did I just get seeds from that? Is that what I just picked up? There we go. There's one. Oh, I'm about to start taking damage. It's just another axe. Oh, there we go. There's one I can stand on. Rude! Rude. Rude. Is that suspicious? I can't tell with the gravel. It's a lot easier with the sand for me to tell. That one's definitely suspicious. What did I get? What did I get? Blade! I don't think I have that one either. Is that one suspicious? No. Are you all normal too? Ah. Okay, that appears to be normal. That appears to be normal. That appears to be normal. Those both appear regular. I can't see over here. Let's break a block. Does that give me any more light to work with? That, I think, is suspicious. Yes, this one is. And I think so is the one to the right here. Just wheat. How about this one? Ah. Are you suspicious? No. Eh. Oh. Alright, that's not suspicious. None of that appears to be suspicious either.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Oh! Which one? Which one is this? Hold on, we got too many blocks. I'll put this and this. Mourner. Oh, I don't think I have that one. I think that's brand new. Trash. 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 How we doing, Matt? Ho, ho, ho. Merry Krampus. Did you go to your movie already? If so, how was it? Been and done that. Was it good? Okay, I don't think there's any more here. That, I think, is normal. Oh, hi. Hi. Goodbye. Alright, let's take a little look outside just to see. Pretty sure this is all regular. It's getting dark. Let's just do a little bit of this just in case. Just to double check. Not that I can see. Can we break a couple blocks then? Can I see? What's under here? Anything? Is this one? No. Alright, I think that's it for this one. Yeah, I don't see any more of it down here. It looks like it was just that one little spot. Oh gosh, we're out in the middle of nowhere. And am I even picking up the stuff? Alright, I guess the closest land is that icy area, so we'll just swim that way. Oh, I got a boat. I got a boat exactly for this. Yeah? There we go. That's a fun tractor emote. It's a good film. A lot more Christmassy feeling than Violent Night was. Very good. Let's get my... Give me my boat back. Give me that. Thank you. Alright, let's get the shulker out. We'll put some of this stuff away. Random axes, random blocks. This can go in here. This can go... Hey! Hey! Go away. Yes, I know it's dark. Perhaps I should sleep. That's a good point. Except I can't. Okay. So, random blocks. What else we got? This can go here. So many flint and steel. And so much zombie flesh. Actually, let's just take all of this. That'll clear up a little bit of space for us. Random potato. Sure. Still can't sleep. Hey, hey, hey. Alright, I'm out of here. At least it might be a little easier to spy them at night. Like I don't think we went down here. I think this is a new one for us. Yeah, it's a whole tower. Is this? Oh, okay. It's very dark. I wanted to sleep. This might be... I don't have any night vision potions, do I? Let's check. Invisibility. Nope. That's not night vision. Unfortunately. What was that? Get back here. Sleep with the fishies. Oh, that's one of Geo's emotes. Cute. Very cute. Alright, let's... Can I sleep under the water? No, really, can I sleep underwater? Bed is obstructed. Nope. Nope. I tried. My eyes hurt right now. I think I need like... Ah! Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. I think I need to take a short break and put some eye drops in. My eyes are feeling really dry right now. And it hurts. Don't like that. So we're just gonna log out right here for a second. And I'm gonna take a short break. I also finally found a low atmosphere planet on No Man's Sky. Very nice, Matt. Very, very nice. Alright, I'm gonna throw up the BRB screen. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Can I run ads right now? It looks like maybe we just recently had an ad break. I can't run them right now, so sorry. I'll be right back. Okay, we back. Hopefully that helps. This time of year, the heat just dries out everything. My eyes, especially. My skin. Oh my god, my hands are always so dry. Actually, speaking of, I'm gonna put a little bit of lotion on. Winter. Yes, winter. Winter. Yes, winter. So how much time is left on that particular expedition that you're working on, Matt? Because I know Kong was telling me that they're like a couple weeks long or something like that. I'll have to ask him how he's doing on his. He's playing so many games right now. He's playing Metaphor Refantasimo or something like that. He's playing No Man's Sky. He's playing what's it called? I don't think he's been playing 7 Days to Die. What's the other one he plays? I'm drawing a blank. 5 days, runs till the 11th. But yeah, he's been playing a lot of that, so he must have been trying to. This is the one you get like some staff from or something he's excited about. I fell off massively on No Man's Sky. I'm like, they added fishing, I'm gonna do some fishing. And then I was like, I don't want to do any of the other stuff. I'll probably come back to it eventually. But, you know, I've been on a Minecraft kick. Always on a Minecraft kick. Always come back to Minecraft. Oh, we got a kitty on the kitty cat cam. Got a kitty on the kitty cat cam. Oh, wrong screen. This one. Scully, what are you looking at? Baby, what are you doing? Hi, what's over there? You're happy because I turned a little space heater on in here, aren't you? Hoagie! Hello, Hoagie. How are you? Happy Friday, friend. Alright, here we go. We're back. I want to go explore the area beneath us. Break the big salmon. Alright, let's see. Any suspicious gravel in here? None of this looks very suspicious to me. Oh, hi. Excuse me. Pardon me. Oh, God, you brought your whole family. You brought the whole family with you, didn't you? There we go. Is that suspicious? No, that's not, is it? No, none of this is. None of this is suspicious. How dare. Oh, bricks. Oh, this is a whole thing. There we go. Hello, I'm crouching. I'm gonna drown here. What? Potion? What the heck was happening there? It like wasn't registering that I was on there. And now I'm getting attacked. Like, please don't kill me. I'm 5,000 blocks from home. I really don't want to die out here. Didn't really want to use that potion. But here we are. Just need to do the first 3 expeditions. The last 2 you've already done. Oh, nice. Oh, so is the one with the spaceship, the spacey spaceship, is that one of them? So I might try to actually do that one and get the ship that looked like a... Get the ship that looks kind of like a flying saucer. That's just a hoe. I don't even know why I'm breaking this. I could have just broken the thing and not actually bothered picking that up. Whatever. Where were we putting the mob drops? There we go. Bottle. Alright, so this is actually a trail ruins then, if we're getting brick and stuff. So, can we go a little further? At least I think it is. That's just sand. Okay. pretty sure that's what this means. Maybe not. Maybe not. I guess maybe bricks can just spawn here. Interesting. Very interesting. Ah. Alright, maybe there's something in this one. Can I get in there? A lot more brick. Not seeing any suspicious gravel just yet. Last 2 expeditions are Aquarius, the fishing one, 8th to January 2nd. Cursed, where you get what I call the Star Wars looking ship, the 22nd to the 5th. Oh, over my birthday. Oh. Alright, so end of January. Maybe we'll get back into No Man's Sky for a bit and do that particular expedition. Maybe. No promises. Who knows? I might just completely retire from streaming before then. Alright, so is this not the trail ruins then? Because I thought when there were bricks that it was. But maybe it's just part of all of the archaeology now. That's just regular. Okay. I kind of want to dig down just to see. Don't think there's anything here. No. Nope, no one heard it. No one heard it. I said no such thing. I don't know what you're talking about. Hello. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. I think you're hearing things, Matt. Why are we on a break now? I tried to take a break like 10 minutes ago. Alright. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything else there. Let's go over to this Taiga Island. Maybe there'll be some trail ruins there. Sorry, I didn't hear that due to the break. Yeah, says one of my first subs. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I feel like I'm getting a lot of like weird lines lately. From like blocks, like the edges. Alright, let's put that away, that away, that away, that away. We had more rotten flesh in here we can get rid of. Tools. Random wooden hose that I totally don't need. Ink sacks can go there. Random copper bar. Oops. Didn't need to pick those up. Alright, that's the end of... I have one more water breathing potion after this. We've gotten quite a few shards so far. Look at that. We've got the Mourner one, which is for the first time. Is that supposed to be the Warden, maybe? And Blade, and Explorer, and we finally got Angler. We've got 2 of those. I'm excited about that. Definitely more that I want to find, though. Definitely more. And the wings are doing all right. Well, let's just break a couple bottles. Just a little bit more. And also, I want to repair this a little bit, so. Perfect. That repair's quick. Wow. Alright, it's gonna be night again? It was just nighttime. It was just nighttime. Meh. What's down there? Is that a torch? Oh, it's a flower. Like, why is it not giving off light? Because it's not a torch, silly. Ad break's over. Zari says I took a break from No Man's Sky after the fishing expedition. Come back for Curse. And it had already finished. Well, you got another chance, Zari. End of January. Second half of January. Alright, let's put down the bed over here and sleep real quick. Boop. Oh, that's a nice view. I really like this new sleeping screen. Alright, let's fly around a bit and see if we can come across any sort of trail. Is this the whole biome? I thought this was gonna be more. There might not be anything over here. Just some cobble, some mossy cobble. But I'm pretty sure this is one of the biomes that you can get the trail ruins in. So basically we just keep an eye out for any sort of terracotta. Colorful terracotta blocks are usually the giveaway, but I'm not seeing any. Oh, there's wolves! Do we have this wolf? Are you one we have? Which one are you? This is the chestnut wolf. We don't have any of those. Shall we? Shall we bring them home? Did I put away the picture? I didn't put away the picture. Hold on, I got this. I can do this. I think we got to, right? We don't have any of them. Where'd you go? Oh, you're right there. See, they want to go home. They're like, yes, let's go home. All right. I don't know what map we're on right now. Let's see how far we can get with the boat. Okay, so switch to this point of view so we can see those. Are you with me? Very good. All right, we gotta go. Around this. We need negative 600, positive 700. So we're about 4,000 blocks away. Just a little bit of a trek ahead of us. Is that's a different flying ship. That's not the flying ship we have, is it? Where's my notes? That's another flying ship, guys. You see that? Because the one that we made note of, the one Jules found, and we kept it when we updated the world, or when we trimmed the world, was at almost 4,000 positive. That's another flying ship right there. Did I just... Oh, there's the other dog. I was like, where's the other dog? Oh, I'm interested. But I can't really fly up there right now. With the doggos. So let's... Haha! We have 2 flying ships in the world. Hey, Minaram! Happy Friday to you. How you doing? We're bringing these doggos home. We were looking for trail ruins and other archaeology sites, but I found doggos that we don't have in our wolf sanctuary, the doggo park. Can I... Where is it? Oh gosh. Can't turn that far. It's half a ship. It's a partial flying ship. I think the other one is even more of a ship, like most of one. Alright, doggos, you with me? Very good. We might have to trek across the ice, because I'm not sure if this opens up on the other side. Hello, dolphin. Doing good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Do you have anything fun going on this weekend? Matt says, I think I'm going to move my base on this expedition. My current one is on a fiery planet and it's a pain. Well, you can make as many bases as you want, really. Right? Think that's how it works. Is this also ice? Does this just go on forever? Is that... I think it's just ice forever. Alright, we're gonna cross. Cause we gotta go. I think we might be heading the wrong direction. I'm heading in the wrong direction this whole time. Okay, let me grab my boat. Nope. Get it back up here. Come on. Alright, doggos, let's go. We gotta go that way. I was going the wrong way that whole time. Oh, you know what? We could totally stay in the water. I was going the wrong way. So if I hop back in the water, we probably could get there a lot faster. All right, doggos, we're going for another boat ride. You with me? Let's go. Because we need that number to get closer to 0, the first coordinate. Friends and family coming into town on Sunday to have Thanksgiving dinner. Very nice. I hope that that's a nice time with your friends and family. Love that. Water skiing pups. They're professionals. Boop, boop, boo, boo, doo, boo. They're professionals. It's a bit of a stretch, but sure. Does this cut through? Oh, it looks like it does, pups. Alright, still got 2 of them. We're doing good. Only like 4,000 blocks to go. Oh man, now it's the icy biome. We gotta cut across it. Gonna have to. Just trying to avoid it. Can I get my boat? Nope. Okay, there we go. Alright, lots of taiga. Taiga? I think this is taiga. Or grove. This might be grove. We could potentially find other doggos. Still got you guys with me? Nope. Get back here. I don't have any extra leads on me. I gotta take out the, Enter chest if we're gonna do that. One. Where's the other? Where's your friend? There he is. Alright, let's go. Oop, what? Mind the hole. Mind the gap. Guys, please be careful. Please be careful. We're ice skating. We're ice skating. Whee! It's gonna get dark soon. I think. Yep. Sunset. Oh, watch the polar bear. The swipe ups. Just go around the polar bear. Is that a baby? Grab the bed, I guess. Sleep while we can. Could potentially use the boat on the ice, but I wonder if they'd be able to keep up. He's a sheep. He's a sheepy, sheepy, sheep. Oh, that's water. Oh, nope. Go around the sheep. Oh, snowy fox. Oh, I love the foxes. They're so cute. Y'all with me? Oh, is this water again? Or is it turned back to ice? Oh, we can get in our boat again. Okay. Sorry, this is a raft. Not a boat. Little Taiga village. Alright, what's this way? I feel like that doesn't let us around, but maybe this does. Ugh, everybody's sitting up straight. My posture's messed up. Pretty rough. Might want to cut through if this doesn't start looping around over here. Do we have that wolf. We have those ones. One of them anyway. Oh, please cut through. Pretty please. Nope. So close. All right. Let's go back a little bit this way. I don't really want to cut through the dark oak. Still with me, pups? Okay. Let's cut through over on the taiga side. Hey, Red, welcome in. That did make you sit up straight? Sit up better? Very good. I need a reminder myself. I'm trying to be better about it, but it's tough. Alright. Well, welcome in. How are you doing? I hope your Friday is off to a good start. Oh, the only downside, do the wolves get hurt on the berry bushes? I don't know. Oh, it turns to birch, so never mind, doesn't really matter. We won't have berry bushes here. My partner's been doing some physical therapy recently. Stretches and stuff like that. And I'm like trying to be more conscious of my own posture. And I've been doing some of the stretches with him. Try to be a little bit better about it. Like, I have some like back pain and stuff sometimes and neck pain. I get a lot of migraines. So like, maybe this will help. I'm just gonna do all of your exercises with you. Some of the time, not all the time. Oh, did I lose one? Where's your lead? I don't have an extra lead. Where is it? Oh, he's off. Where did your lead go? Oh, man. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's try to grab him again. Come here. Where'd you go? Pupper? Okay, that's a trail of murder. Where's the other doggo? There he is. Where are you going? We're going this way. Come on. We got a little bit of a journey ahead of us, so we can't be making detours like that. You with me? Okay. Oh, bee's nest. I love bees. Go. From this perspective, we can see if one of the leads ends up breaking. So it's still kind of difficult to find the lead when it happens. Another like 3,000 blocks. But the last stretch, the last like 1,000 blocks is easy because we can hop right into... Ooh, what's over here? Dare we? Let's go around the wide side. You can avoid the lava that way, maybe. Eh? I'll take the golden apple, I guess. Fire protection 4. That's actually not bad. You know what? We'll take those two. I might need gold pants. Who knows? I'm just gonna put that in there for now. Alright, this way, pups. You with me? Alright, which way do we need to be going? This way? Yeah. Cross here. Trail of death? Oh no! From the wolves. Yes, they leave just pieces of wool and meat everywhere. Hey, Mello's here. Hi, Mello. Happy Friday. How you doing, bud? I'm gonna drop the bundle. Because I've yet to land the bundle in the snow pile. Let's see. Maybe this time I'll be lucky. Nope, not this time. Back of the boat. All right, the majority of this is probably going to be water now. I think we might be able to get all the way home from here. Maybe. It's only 1,000 blocks till we're back on our home map, so... Just wait, Thad is taking the wolves to where wolves magically vanish. No, it's not my fault, okay? I'm trying to keep them safe. Whole boat. I think I explored that one earlier. I'm taking you to a beautiful place where you'll be safe, maybe. Maybe. Is that an azalea tree or what's going on over there? I'm curious. Let's go take a look. Oh wait, I have a spyglass just for the occasion. Nope, it's just dirt. I thought it was a tree. From back here, it kind of looks like a tree. It's just dirt. But this will be what, our 7th kind of wolf? Better start thinking of names. Do I feel like one of them should just be named Chestnut? Or Chester? I'm naming one of them Chester. The other one you guys can name if you want to redeem the name tag thing. One of these is going to be Chester. Can always count on you, Matt. You got something good? A Arthur? Is that A supposed to be there? Am I missing something? Is this a reference? I feel like this is a reference I don't know. I'm thinking Chester like Lincoln Park Chester. Chester A. Arthur is a person's name. I am pretty is a person's name. Chester A. Arthur. I am pretty is a person's name. Excellent English there, Matt. That's a president? Chester A. Arthur is a president? I had no idea. I guess this wasn't a very notable president. Want to give us a little breakdown? When was this guy president? What years? Must have been like early 1900s? Late 1800s? Right, if we get... so we're in the mid-40s now. So... 1860s. Oh, 81 to 85. I was close. So he was a single-term president. Did he do anything notable? Do you just have the wiki up? Want to tell me what he was known for? Was he a good president? A bad president? Probably pretty mediocre if he only served one term and I've never heard of him. Don't know. Much wasn't happening in the late 1800s, was it? I'm really bad at history. I'm not gonna lie. History is not my strong point at all. Well, I think we're almost home. I believe that's the top of the Witch's Tower coming into view. And there's the cove. I want to turn into a pirate cove. I mean, the cave. I want to turn into a pirate cove. So we were going to have Chester and A. Arthur. Named after a president I've never heard of. Oh, but there's the lighthouse. Whee. And all my creaking things. Oh, I turned the boat. And my house. Looks weird from here. The flowers and the trapdoors don't spawn in yet. That's weird. Oh, there they are. There's my flowers and trapdoors. Still got the wolves. We're good. Alright, let's park our raft right over here for now. Come on, puppers. I'm gonna grab my chest with the name tags in it. I think this one has name tags. Yes. 2 name tags. That anvil's almost broken, but I think I have one. Yes, I do have one in my odds and ends. Okay, let's put this away. The one that's in there I don't want to break. Alright, puppers, let's go. We're going to the wolf sanctuary. Gonna get you to some names. Hey, Hunter, how are you? Good to see you again, bud. Happy Friday. We got more wolves. Look, we got the chestnut wolves. And a frog. Walk through our little sunflower field. Here we go. Here is our wolf sanctuary. Come on, boys, get in here. And we need to give them 2 names. We've got Chester. And we've got A. Arthur. A. Arthur. Spelled like that, right, Matt? Oh, we got a little information on Arthur here. Here we go. Chester A. Arthur is known for being the 21st president of the United States and for his achievements during his presidency. Served from 81 to 85, succeeding... Oh, Garfield, President Garfield, okay, after his assassination. Dang. Oh, did he just become... Was he the vice president? Led the largest expansion of the U.S. Navy. Great. More military. End of the spoils system. Implemented stricter restrictions on migrants. I don't like this guy. Won a case for enslaved people who demanded their freedom after moving to New York. Okay, I like that. Represented an African-American woman who was forced off a streetcar. Alright, so he was a lawyer. His success led to New York passing a law against discrimination. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. There we go. Oh, forgot to actually click the name tag. A. Arthur. Alright, so a mixed bag on that guy. Mixed bag. So you'll be Chester. And you'll be Arthur. A. Arthur, specifically. Be free, puppers! Be free! Here's Chips. I wonder if we lost Fish. We got Feinstein. We've got Sean. We lost Alan. Raven's doing great. Raven's doing great. And look at this. Where is it? Menu. Cathedora has a new friend, Raven. The game, like, made it an event that I named the dog yesterday. This is all, like, random. It said that I discovered enchanting. I've been enchanting for a long time. I don't know where that came from. It says when Kisser Kong got netherite recently. When we defeated the dragon back in July. But apparently having a name tag on a wolf is worthy of an event. Alright. Who's Mr. Wolf? It's a little dark over here. Maybe we need a little more lighting. Should we... Let's grab the ender chest. Hoagie's dropping. Come on, Hoagie. Get that in the snow pile. Put that sandwich on ice. Alright, I think I have a couple lanterns in here. There's one. But I don't have any moss carpets. Oh, sandwich didn't land. Come on, Zeri, you can do it. You can do it, Zeri. Come on, get in the snow pile. I want to see that emote in the snow pile. Come on, come on. No, no, too far. Dang it. Did I drop recently? I'm gonna drop Jesse. Alright, I'm gonna need... Actually, you know what? I don't want to put lanterns. Let's go get a couple more frog lights. That's my fortune pickaxe. Let's use Silk Touch. I wonder if I accidentally fortuned the other ender chest. Maybe that's what I did. Bartholomew's doing great. I think everyone else is still here. So there's Arthur. Which one are you? Beetlejuice. Claudia. And this is Wilma. Okay. Let's go over here, grab a couple frog lights and a couple of moss carpets. Frog lights. We'll use a couple of these. Couple carpets. I thought I had moss carpets in there. I don't. Should have some in here then. Oh, I didn't double tap. There we go. No, no one can. Beetlejuice is doing great. I'm glad Beetlejuice has been surviving. Alright, so there's one. I'm going to put another one right about here. And over here seemed kind of dark. Was it over out here? Alright, hopefully that's good. Keeping an eye on you, chicken. All right, now what? Now what? Let's go clear up our inventory a little bit. This is still cooking down resin bricks, yeah. All right, we got a whole bunch of sherds now, which is nice. So let's see, where'd they go? We've got a few new ones. Oh, give me that back. We got the angler one, that's exciting. We got Mourner, which is new. I believe this one's new too. As is the Explorer one, right? Yeah. But those are repeats. Got quite a few of the shelter pottery sherds. Now we got some mob drops to put away. Couple other odds and ends. These can go in here. Put down the shulker, see what we got in here. Bunch of sand. That can go in here. Dang it, didn't mean to put that down. Give that back. One of these had some flint in it. So flint can go there. I think we also had some here. Gravel. Tiny bit of dirt. Gonna have to make more water breathing potions to replenish my stock there. What do we need for water breathing? It's pufferfish, right? Okay, let's brew up that there. We need 3 bottles. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. That'll brew. A few mob drops to put away. It's hard to kill a dead chaos demon, so Beetlejuice should survive anything. Yes, hopefully so. No more dead doggos. No more dead doggos, please. A little bit of gunpowder, nautilus shell, a little bit of... Oh, bones don't go there. Bones go here. Nautilus shell goes here. We got a few fish to put away. Throw those up here over the smoker. Guess the golden carrots can go in the fridge. Got almost a whole stack now. Copper? Copper. What else we got? A little bit of iron. Let's grab the valuables chest, put that down. Emeralds. Do we have room for copper in here? I mean, iron in here. We do. We'll just throw that in there. Books. Alright. Pants gotta go upstairs. A bit of coal can go in here. Random seeds. Let's put the puffer fish. I think I put the sniffer eggs in here. Yes, I did. So many sniffer eggs. We don't really need any more of those. Bag of heads. And I'm gonna put these in here. Okie dokie. Where's my explorer box? I'm gonna put the brushel sprout back in here. Along with our spyglass. And honestly, the bag of maps can go in there for now. Gotta put away the water breathing potion and the new ones that we're making now. Can grab those. I think we gotta extend it with redstone. Is that how we make it stronger or last longer? Almost out of coffee. There we go. These should be 8 minutes now. Excellent. Put one of these away. I have a piece of cat hair stuck to my face somewhere. Alright, where's the water breathing? Water breathing. One up there, and the other 2 can go in my potions box. 1 and a 2. Replenish my rockets. Very good. Ugh. Anything else we need to clean up? Guess we put away all that. Oh, there was more stuff in the shulker upstairs to put away. This one. We've got some random mossy stones. where do we keep those? In here. Stone bricks and whatnot. And we've got some gravel to put away. That goes in here. Oh, we've got too much gravel. I think we need to make a gravel shulker now. Maybe we'll turn this one into it. What am I going to do with all these wooden hoes? Besides trash them. I think we're just going to trash the wooden hoes. The iron axes we'll keep in case we need to strip a bunch of logs, I guess. I have one of these barrels full of tools. Alright, let's go to the trash can. We'll get rid of these wooden hoes. Bunch of rotten flesh. That can go here. What else we got in here? A few more blocks, a bell, couple flint and steel. Why'd I even take those? I'm gonna put those in the random tool drawer as well. Not the bell. The flint. Fire charge. That can go in here. Obsidian in the kitchen. This one. And a random bell. Do the bells stack? They good. They do. Good. Very good. That's everything in there, so let's put a bunch of the gravel. A little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it was 8. Or 7. Close enough. Shulker. There we go. That's a little better. What else we have going on in here? That's all the new blocks we got. That's our trees. And this is the stuff we use to make the edges of the water look better. And it's nighttime now, so let's sleep. How many shulkers do we have in here? We're missing 2. Let's grab 2 empty ones from the bedside. Here's where I keep my pre-made shulkers. And I believe I have more shulker shells in here. Yeah, that's another 32. Another 32 shulkers. We're good on that for a little while at least. Okay. Excellent. Everything is in good order, I think. Keep that stuff. We could probably get rid of the coal. The loose coal. And anything in here? I probably don't need 6 chests. Let's keep just 3 on us. Put the rest of this away. Oh, it feels so good to get organized. But goodness, Minecraft doesn't make it easy. I kind of want to do just a little bit of fishing. Let's do a teeny bit of fishing, shall we? See if we get anything good. We haven't done much fishing lately, and it's one of my favorite things to do in any video game. Like, who doesn't like Minecraft fishing? Am I right? I find it quite relaxing. Red Assassin agrees. It's relaxing. It's just like real life fishing, but I don't have to wait very long or put worms on hooks or remove fish from hooks, so this is much better. A lot less work. A lot less gross. Oops, I missed that one. I said it a million times. I always... All my favorite games have fishing in some form. Like, you could fish in Pokemon. You can fish in Minecraft. You can fish in Stardew Valley. You can fish in Animal Crossing. You can fish in World of Warcraft. What else can you fish in? You can fish in Zelda. Right? Can you fish in Zelda? Oh, wait. I don't think you can fish in Zelda. I think you can... Oh, there's a fishing minigame in Zelda. I remember that. Oh, what book do we get? You can fish in No Man's Sky, indeed. Curse of Vanishing. That's the entire book. Thanks, I guess. Ocean, thanks. Yes, you can fish in No Man's Sky now. Oh, a second book. Projectile Protection, Bane of Arthropods, Punch 1, and Power 3. Nothing wildly impressive there. That was funny. They're like, we gave you a really crappy book. Let's make up for it. This one has 4 enchantments, and none of them are curses. Oh, another book. We're just fishing up all the books. Aqua Affinity, Flame, and Piercing 4. Flame's not bad. I don't think I have much flame, and I need that for bows. Aqua Affinity's decent. Hunter's dropping at... Oh, and who's dropping at high speed there? Jove! Hello, Jove. You got some speed on that one. How you doing? How's your Friday going? Good morning. Oh, it is still morning. It's 11. Watch the eyes on this drop. I'm watching. What eyes? Eyes? Am I waiting for something? Are you dropping a particular emote or something? 1 sec. Okay, I'm waiting patiently. Oh, we got a name tag. That's nice. Always use more of those. Oh. Ah, yes, the Carrier and Christmas emotes. Oh, I love the cozy one. Oh my god, why does it go so fast? Why does it go so fast when it's dropping? Do animations drop faster? Or is it just because it's moving side to... Oh god, that's kind of making me dizzy. Goodness. Was it just because it's moving side to side? That it looked all weird like that? That was wild. Like, animations don't speed up when it's dropping. I think it was just because it's moving side to side. Have I dropped? Yeah, that was weird. But I don't think they move faster. This will be a test. Okay, I don't think it moves faster. I think it was just because it was a side-to-side animation. and it was moving side to side. That was crazy. Woof, meeting went long. Ugh. You're free now, though? What was that? A flame bow. Remember when I was just talking about flame? Free as a bird. Yay! We did a little bit of exploring. We got some sherds that we didn't have before. And we got a couple of chestnut wolves. So we've got 7 of the 9 types of wolves now, provided none of the other ones that are existing die. We named them Chester and A. Arthur, because apparently the 21st president of the United States was named Chester A. Arthur. I don't remember that guy. I named Chester and Matt named A. Arthur. And I was like, who's that? And it was a president. In the late 1800s. So there's a little bit of American history for you there, Jules. And I think that's about it. We put the stuff away when we got home, and now we're doing a little fishing. Few books. Good job. I forgot that you memorized that. Do you know the state one too? Rawr, Joe. Rawr. I'm so sorry, Jove. I'm very sorry. How you doing, Joe? How's the day going for you? Couple random books to put in here. I'm just gonna stick them. Doesn't matter. Oh, and the country is one. Goodness. Wild. Alright, I'll put away this. Alright, let's see. I might... Are the ads up? I might take another little break. Sounds like... Oh, there we go. Ad break coming in. Alright, I am going to take one more short break. And then, if I'm not mistaken, we might be doing a little something else. So, I'll log out for just a second. And I will be back in just a couple of minutes. Joe says, I'm good, getting ready. Yay! Almost time for a Joe stream. I wish I could just run these ads right now. Will you let me run the ads right now? It won't let me click the thing. Maybe if I refresh. Now can I click the thing? There we go. Alright, I'll be right back in just a couple minutes. I'll reset the drop.
howdy, howdy, howdy.
Ew, no, David. I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit of la 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 la. A little bit of Alexis.
Hello, I am back. I am back from my break. What happened while I was gone? Looks like a lot of drops. Zeri dropped, Jojo dropped, Hunter dropped, Jules dropped, Jove dropped. I'm zooming. What did your emote thing go super fast, Joe? Jules. Jules be zoomies. Hoagie landed. Yay, Hoagie. Anyone else land? Was it just the Hoagie? The Hoagie. Joe landed as well. Clappies. Clappies for the landers. Good job. Good job. I love that emote, Hoagie. The little with the middle. Jules needs to cut down on the caffeine. Unlikely. I missed a little bit of Alexis. How sad. I'm a little bit. Jojo says, I just removed so much air from my heating system and replaced it with water. My heating is so much more efficient now. You purged the air from the system. Do you have the big radiators or baseboards? Or a third kind of heating that I'm not familiar with? That's silly. You need to put heat into your heating system for it to work properly. Matt, are you a certified heating technician? Cologuard. An at-home colon screening. Oh. That sounds fun, Kelton. When else do you get to mail poop? Am I right? Big radiators. Big, I have a tiny house. Oh, goodness. So yeah, the radiators. I know you have to purge the air from those sometimes. I don't think I have to for the baseboards we have. We have a cleaning, the boiler cleaning coming up in a couple months. Not a couple months, a couple weeks. I think the day before Christmas we're getting our boilers cleaned. Merry Christmas to us. Nice big expense right around the holidays. Who doesn't love that? Because we got to pay for 2 of them, because there's 2 boilers, because there's one for our apartment and one for the upstairs apartment. Jojo. Joe seems very excited about the poop. Classic Joe. You haven't had coffee in 3 days. What? Do you have, like, the worst caffeine withdrawal migraine right now, or do you not get those? Yeah, Kelda, that was the best time to tell that story, specifically for Joe. Your doctor is begging you to take it easy. Oof. Ugh. Come on, doc, you're killing me. So, Jules, how you doing? Are you free for some shenaniganery? Or are you still working? Yes! Jules has had so much caffeine, she no longer sees time. Ah, yeah. Migraines. No fun. That's why I cut back on caffeine a lot now. I still drink coffee, but I drink like half calf coffee. And I don't remember the last time I had a latte. I was just born like this. I used to get caffeine headaches if I didn't have a big 32-ounce Diet Coke at 9 a.m. by 9 a.m. My gosh. That is a lot of Diet Coke. What's a can usually? Is a can like 12 ounces of soda now? 8 ounces, 12 ounces, something like that? I can't do Diet Coke. I was born with the zoomies too. I traded early morning coffee for a pot of tea, and I never have caffeine headaches anymore. That's nice. I wish I liked tea. I keep trying tea. I have not found a tea that I like. My cold brew addiction started at the start of COVID, so I was having 12 to 24 ounces a day. Yeah, it's easy to suddenly have like tons and tons of coffee. 1 second, I'm just gonna make the webcam a little darker. I can see it's getting brighter in here, and I'm going to be just completely whited out shortly. Webcam configure. Let's lower that a little bit and lower this a tiny bit. There we go. My chin's looking very prominent today. Baby girl, please stop. Never. But no, I switched myself to like drinking less caffeine. I felt like my heart rate was just like super high all the time, which I heard can happen after you get a COVID infection. And we did get it. Both my partner and I caught COVID at least once. We may have had it more times than that and just been asymptomatic, because a lot of the times it is asymptomatic. But there was one time that we definitely had COVID, tested positive and everything. And after that, I felt like my heart rate was constantly racing. So I cut my caffeine back myself. I was just like, maybe I'm drinking too much coffee. No, I think that I was just dealing with some long COVID things. Do you have an Xbox? I do not have an Xbox. I do not. But maybe some people in chat might have some suggestions. Or we do have a Discord now with a video game section. If you want to hop in there, there's a video game section, and you could ask for some recommendations. I bet people will help you with that. After COVID, I had a really hard time with shortness of breath. Yes. No, I think that I've had a little bit of that too. I also think I forget to breathe sometimes, if that makes sense. Sometimes I will get like super focused in on something, usually something that's like upsetting or anxiety inducing. And I think sometimes I forget to breathe when that happens, if that makes sense. Climbing stairs is the enemy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. Like, there's so many complications that happen. Like, even if you get COVID, and even if it's a mild infection, like, oh god, I'm gonna go off. This is one of the things I care pretty deeply about, actually. But like, people are like, oh, I got COVID and I was fine. But then they'll talk about how they have shortness of breath. And I'm like, that's probably from your COVID infection. Or they're having heart issues, probably from your COVID infection. Or they're getting sick a lot more often, probably from a previous COVID infection. And the more times you are infected, the more likely you are to have lasting effects. Watch my viewership just plummet right now. But like that's why it's really important to do your best to avoid it. Do whatever you can. I have air purifiers in the house now. I bring them to family gatherings. I show up with my air purifier and I'm like, where can I plug this in? Cause I'm happy to be here with all y'all, but I do not want your germs. So I bring air purifiers to family gatherings now. I am that guy. And I'm always like, hey, you guys should get an air purifier. Do you have an air purifier? You should get an air purifier. And in addition to that, like, I still mask everywhere I go pretty much in public. If I go to the grocery store, if I'm going to go walk around Target, doctor's offices especially. So I'm trying to limit my exposure to it as best as I can because there are so many lasting complications that we don't fully understand yet. It's going to be an ongoing thing. But yeah, anyway, that's my PSA to please protect yourselves. Please don't spread germs. If you think you've been exposed, test. Don't spread it around because it's not cool. COVID ain't cool. Anyway, enough about that. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of similar issues in chat. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Sorry if I scared anyone off with that, but also not sorry because people act like COVID's a dirty word. COVID itself is not a dirty word. Being aware of how you can protect yourself and what can result from an infection beyond dying. People are still dying to it, believe it or not. Beyond that, there are a lot of complications, and it's best to avoid it if you can. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's not nighttime? I thought it was nighttime. Oh, it's sunrise. Hi. 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 Sorry to keep you waiting. Jules. Jules being Jules. Remember yesterday or the day before when we were finding the, Joe. When we were finding the pale garden biomes and I was like, this is ridiculous. Where are they? Jules is like, watch me log in and find one immediately. Jules found a gigantic pale garden biome and a mansion, so we're gonna go and explore that with her. Jules, can you be in voice chat? Do you want to be in voice chat? No pressure either way, but if you'd like to be, we can be. Yep, 1 second. Okay, go to the one in mod voice. In the mod chat. I have a mod voice chat now. I'll be in there. And do I have the overlay thing? Hold on. I found an overlay so that you can see when people are talking in voice chat. I just gotta switch over to my server. Where is my server? There it is at the bottom. And then we'll go into... Which one? Where's mod voice chat? There it is. Okay. So I think that should work now. Or do I need to add this? Add browser source. I thought I had one of these. Voice chat. There it is. Okay. Now is it going to show up? Am I in the right thing? Is it going to show up? Hello? Am I in the voice chat?
Hello.
Hello. Hello. I'm trying to make the voice chat thing show up on screen.
Hi.
Hi. How are you, my love? Oh, there it is. Okay, there's the voice chat. We just gotta move it over. Now you'll know who's talking. Yay. Pro striker. What's a striker? Can you hear me okay, Jules? Or are you
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Where should I meet you at your house?
Sure.
Do you need rockets or anything? I have 1,000,000.
I think I should be good.
Okay, okay. To Jules's. Keldon. Oh, Jules is gonna be on voice. I gotta put on my nice clothes.
That's funny because I just I had to get out of my work clothes because I was like, all right, it's time for comfies. Work's over.
Real pants? Nah.
Absolutely not.
Stretchy pants, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like live in sweatpants, so.
I am so excited for you to see this biome. It like couldn't be any more beautiful if someone had done it by hand.
Oh, I'm so excited. I was like trying so hard to find a sizable biome because I think it looks really cool. I think I'm getting close to your house. What are your coordinates?
So I'm actually not at my house right now.
Oh.
I'll come towards you and then we can head over there together. But you can
Or
just
should I
head-
just start heading to the coordinates? Like, what is it? Like
Yeah, you can just head
6,000?
east.
Was the first number 6,000?
Yes, yeah.
I wrote it down, but where is it? Oh, 6,700. Yep. Cool. So we got a little bit of a flight ahead of us. Please enjoy the
Use your
in-flight movie.
pilot voice.
Please fasten your seatbelts. We are ascending, and our destination is the Pale Garden Biome. Is that a nice, soothing pilot voice? I assume we want soothing pilot voices and not like panic, like, oh my god, we're gonna die.
Angry pilot voice, please.
Fasten your seatbelts or else I'm going to crash this plane right now. I don't know.
Fasten your seat or else.
Or else. If your cell phones are not off, I will personally kick your butt. That good? Do I sound threatening?
Yes, incredibly frightening.
I'm so sorry. Matt. Am I missing anything else in chat here? It's an illusion. Oh, I love
Spicy
that.
food.
Oh, what? Spicy food? Ooh, eating something super spicy in the morning, good for your health, because I'm eating spicy. Ooh, what are you having, Hunter? I don't know if it's good or bad for your health, but I do enjoy spicy foods.
It's in general are pretty good for you unless you have some sort of condition.
Ah, I can
where
see
you
how that
can't
could
enjoy
be.
spicy foods.
Matt, you lost your butt? I'm a little concerned. So how far are you at the biome already?
No, I'm like halfway in between. I think you might fly over me in a second. I just had to organize my inventory a little bit.
Ah.
But
Ooh, mountains. I want to collect all the goat horns. When on Legends, when they did that like big group collection, I was like, there's so many stuff, so many things to collect. Like, I should probably get on that.
oh yeah, it's crazy.
Oops, I was going the wrong way.
I have a few horns at home. If you're creating a collection, I can give you some.
Hmm. Perhaps. I wonder what I have some of the ones that you can get like from the Illager tower things. What are those called? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank.
Post?
What was it?
Post?
Post? Oh, yes.
Posts.
Yes, yes. Oh, more ice. I've seen so much ice today. Takis, the Mexican spicy chip. Ooh. I've seen
I love
Takis.
Takis.
I don't think I've actually eaten them.
They're so good.
Maybe I'll have to change that. Have we done raids yet? No, we've not done raids on here. I did my first ever raid on the last day of the Bedrock Legends server, and then we did another one. So I feel fully prepared for raids now. They weren't so bad. Should be getting close. 6,300.
Some blocks behind you, just because I was faffing around a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Load chunks.
I'm coasting in. I see the mansion.
Ooh.
Now, did you just come across this, or did you find one of the maps to find a mansion?
I just came across it. It's the first one I found in this world.
Yeah, I haven't come across one. And with all the flying that I did the past few days, I'd expected to find a mansion. Especially since I was specifically looking for Dark Oak. Oh, look at it! Yes. Now that is a pale garden.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't bring a map. I should land and get a map out of my ender chest. Fill this area in. Add it to my map wall. Feel free to copy any of the maps off the wall if you want to, by the way. I said the same thing to Kong, that you can come over, copy the map. I have a chest of them in the middle of the room with extra maps specifically to copy them.
Delightful.
Oh, not that one. Explorer box. There we are. Grab this. Little bit of paper. I just landed on top of the mansion, by the way, when you get over here.
Okay. I am just about there.
Oh, I have to use the map before I can make it bigger. There we go. Oh, the mansion takes up like the whole thing. 2, 3, 4. Oh, I see you. I see your little dot coming my way. Do we want to just go right into the pale oak? A
That
pale
would be very
garden?
spooky. We could. Hang on, where am I? Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't put away the... Oh, I hear you. I hear your wings. Hello. There she is. All right, gotta put that away.
I stole it from you.
Oh, I'm like, what? I was putting stuff away. Where am I? And silk touch. Oh, maybe I should take my chest plate out, just in case. Chest plate.
Oh, creepy.
Spoopies. It's the spoopies. Yeah, I think we should just go right into the garden for now, and then when daytime comes, we can maybe start working on the mansion.
Yeah, works for me. Do you want to put a bed down just in case?
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. Oh, I got a cyan bed too. Oh, don't sleep. Hold on, exit. There we go. We don't want to sleep. We want to go find the spookies.
Yes.
All right. I think just coast on down. Or fly full speed ahead. All right, you land wherever you want. Right. Oh, let's start about here.
I'll follow your lead on this one.
There's already a bunch of monsters. I need to heal up again. I just crash landed. Oh no! My God, I almost just died.
Where are you?
Let me put down a torch.
Oh, there you are. I see you.
A little kid's running after me. Get away. I don't want to die. Ah. Good idea on the beds, by the way, since I almost immediately died. No. Oh my God. That one got me. Zeri, that one really got me. I believed it Fully, entirely with my whole being. Oh, come on, stop it. I'm trying to heal. I'm put down a couple more torches.
I will be guard dog.
Thank you.
I will be German Shepherd.
How did I possibly survive an entire month of hardcore when this is what I do?
Because you were playing like you were made out of glass.
Because I was. Absolutely was made out of glass. Alright, I just want to look at the map real quick. Let's see. I wanted to see what this looks like on the map because I don't think I'd come near a big enough biome for it to show up on the large map. There we go. Alright. Got that. I got my sword. Eat a little food and then we can see what we can find.
I tried not to disturb too much of it. I did collect some pale wood, just so that I had some. But there is a heart in here somewhere, and a little special guy is gonna say hi to us.
Oh, there's creepers. Creepers, so many creepers. Oh god. So many mobs. I don't know if we should light anything up. Like, oh god. Got him. Got him, I saved you. Oh, there's the flowers. I love the flowers.
Yeah, they're so pretty. They remind me of the fire flowers from Mario.
Oh yeah, I totally see that. Oh, look at the mansion from here. Seems like a pretty silly place to build your house. Next to this.
Unless you're an illager.
Oh, that's true. I don't think they get attacked.
No. The mobs know better than that. Creaking. Eee, the sounds are so creepy.
Oh, you know, I should turn off my music. Ooh, I hear
What was
creepy
that?
sounds. There he is. There's the spoopy boy. There he is. Hello, friend. Is he following me?
He's so spooky. Oh, there's two.
One for each of us.
Bam. Oh, look, it's right here.
Oh, wow. That's close. I have several at home, so if you want to take any of them, feel free.
I think I will, because I don't have any yet.
One of them will disappear when you do that.
No, my best friend. My best
found it?
friend in the world. Yeah. Do I need to collect it any specific way?
It needs to just be Silk Touch. So if
Okay.
do you have a Silk Touch axe or something? There you go.
Yep.
Oh. And he's gone. Well, you have him.
Hi. Thank you for your sacrifice. I love you.
Want to take a picture with this guy?
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, let's switch to this perspective.
Get my good side.
It's a little dark in here. Oh, FN, F1. Oh, he's
Oh.
moving. Oh, get over here. I can't see your face. There he is.
There we go.
Okay. I'll look at him. You turn to your left a little bit. Oh god, there's a we got all the tall
I got it.
boys. We got all the tall boys. Look at that. Where'd he
That's
go?
my
Did he
type.
leave?
That's my type.
Trying to get him in the shot. Come back here, Enderman. Don't you want to be in the photo?
I
No.
could look at him. Oh, oh, oh.
Oh. Okay, I got a screenshot, I think. With all the tall boys.
I love
Okay. Oh. Hi, friend. Let me switch back to first person. Goodness. It's like some of them you want to look at, some of them you don't want to look at.
that. I love following them around. They're just here. They're just hanging out.
Oh, who's shooting me? Where are you? Oh, it's so hard to
Oh.
see stuff. Oh, I didn't have my... It's like, what's going on here?
So do you come here often, or what's the deal?
Sorry, I'll
deal?
give you guys some privacy.
Wow. Ah, hey, I'm on
Oh.
a date.
Did he come after you? Oh, not the...
Zombie.
Not... Ah, this little... Another zombie. Everybody wants you, Jules. Everybody's like, hey. Hey,
Well,
look
I
at this
only have
cutie.
eyes for Enderman. Where'd he go?
Is he following me?
Bam.
So that's the other one.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's a big one. Give me all your resin.
This guy came in his best dressed clothing for you. head to toe in chainmail.
Hey.
Oh. I kind of wish other mobs didn't spawn here. Which I thought was what they said initially was going to be the case, but maybe I misunderstood, or maybe they changed it, or maybe it's a bug.
Or maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe. Could always be Maybelline. Jojo says 90% of the illagers have enchanted axes, so it seems like a dumb place for trees to attack. If only the trees weren't invulnerable.
My Enderman turned on me.
How dare. Did you get any of the hanging moss? Because that I think you have to pick up here specifically with shears. Or...
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I got some of that yesterday.
Cool. I love the hanging moss.
I do too. It's really pretty.
But it's so hard to see through. It's like so much thicker than other vines.
I can't wait to spruce up my house with all the new stuff.
Yeah. The whitewood's gonna be a really nice accent on your hobbit hole. Oh, is this another Enderman or a different one? Or the same one?
That's a different one.
They like it
I'm
here.
bringing our friend.
Surprised he hasn't vanished yet. Sunrise.
Don't leave.
Sunrise is
No.
weird in here though. Like,
Ah!
You okay?
He exploded right in front of me.
Oh, are you okay?
I'm sad.
I'm sorry. Do you want a hug?
That was so jarring. I didn't know that that's how they.
He'll be
despawn.
back. He'll be back.
That was such
It's
a
okay.
violent explosion.
I didn't know you had little. Wait, do you have little elf ears?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I've never looked at the side of your head this close.
And then I have on my back I got little wingies.
Oh, like a little elf fairy kind of thing. Very cute. Adorable. I love the sweater. Was that just a skin you found like pre-made? Or is this
I unfortunately have spent many a coin on many a skin pack that I don't need. Hang on.
I totally understand that though.
I don't know why I bought this one. Not this
Fashion
one.
show, fashion show, fashion show at work.
Okay. Where is... Wait, where are my skins? Where are my skins, though? Okay, here we go.
I think to get the full effect, you're gonna need to take your armor off. What is this? What? What? Oh, it's a spider. The spider does not approve. Spider's like, I hate it.
Remember who you are. It's Mufasa or whatever.
No, I can tell you're a lion. Wow. Yeah, that's Mufasa. Is this part of a pack? Do you have like the whole Lion King family? Do you have a tail? You do have a tail.
It's from a Jungle Cat skin pack.
Very nice. Beautiful. I can't look at you.
Okay.
There we go. That's much better.
Let's get
That's
into
the
it.
jewels I know. All right, so we find our way over to the mansion. I think we should go right
Yeah.
through the front door. Do it the way Mojang intended.
You just have to get leg extensions, Jojo. You know, it's not impossible.
Another unobtainable beauty standard. Oh, there's my rockets. Okay. Picked up a sapling along the way. Do we know where the door is?
I think it's over here. No.
No, I expected it over here. It's gotta be somewhere, right? Where are
it's over here.
you?
It spawned it.
Is it floating?
It's not floating, but it's like it's facing the earth because it's built.
Oh.
You see.
Oh, we got a friend already. Excuse me. Oh, I missed entirely. Thank you. I might
it's so
put
dark.
my I'm gonna put my chest plate on for this. Oh, or I'm gonna set off rockets because you know that's how I do.
So I feel like this is going to be extra dark
Yeah.
because it is embedded in the earth.
Yeah, so even the windows aren't working. All right, I got torches out. I got stuff for more torches. Let's light it up as we go.
Follow your lead on this one.
Oh, found another tall boy for you. Your favorite.
Hello.
I'm just gonna
the
go
purple
into each of the
contacts.
rooms and light things up. Oh, I love the flower pot room.
It's cute.
It's so adorable. There's... Oh, I hear angry guy. I went down the hall to the right over here. You probably can see my name tag.
Yeah.
All right, got my shield. Yeah. Okay. At least the hallways are lit. Oh, chest room. I don't think there's anything in these chests. I think it's just...
Which is a waste, if you ask me.
Like, there should be stuff in all of this. Like, even if it was just, like, blocks, like this is a storage room and they just kept a bunch of cobblestone in here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. It's kind of sad that none of them have anything in them. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I checked anyway, just in case.
You never know.
Oh, dark room up ahead this way. I hear the noises getting louder too. Oh.
A lay prison. Free
Oh.
them.
I was trying to put a torch on the wall. I shall free them. Be free, friends! At least they gave you a sleeping bag and a toilet.
Yeah.
Like, what? What
I
is
think maybe
this?
villagers just don't understand what allays are, so they just built them a prison.
Oh,
Hey.
they're so cute. Oh, oh God. Good job.
Jeez.
Good job. He never stood a chance.
Mm-mm.
All right, I think this is the Alay's house now. We'll clear all the danger for them. There's a tree in here and some water. I hear zombies. Maybe
I think
outside.
they're either above us or... Ooh, secret room.
Is that a secret room?
Carve into it.
Oh. Oh. Huh? Oh, chest. And a tree.
Ooh.
It's an enchanted golden apple with efficiency 1! Ah, yes! Alright, I totally want this. Taking this. Because
How-
what are you... It's... Look at it's in there. It's efficiency 1.
How?
Sometimes
How is
when stuff gets spawned in and it's enchanted, it gets like weird enchantments on it. You can only get them when they spawned in that way.
That's amazing. That's a relic.
Yes, I'm keeping that. I'm actually gonna take the chest too, because I like chests. They're expensive. So I don't think there's anything in there. I'm wondering if the guys are on the next floor. Maybe we have to go up the stairs. And I think we didn't go down the left side of the mansion either. Yeah, no rooms were missing over here. Oh, I'm so glad we went into that room. Oh, here's Johnny. He's dead, don't worry.
I like
I
that he
took
was
care
kind
of
of
it.
in the floor.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice. I was too focused on killing him. What's this? Just more chests?
Oh,
More
God.
empty chests? Like, does any of this have anything in it? Could one of these chests have something? Wouldn't that be nice? Something really cool, like a totem. I still have that one totem you gave me.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Alright, there's nothing in here. It's just chests.
I like this random block of stone.
Huh.
I don't know what it's supposed to represent.
Me neither. I thought you accidentally placed it or something. Oh, creeper. Got him. I got him. I got him. I got him. I got him. Aha! You're not ruining the house today. And a bunch of wool. Is there something under the wool? Oh, this is fun.
More empty chests.
Is this just wool? It's
Jeez,
just wool.
there's so many.
Like, wouldn't it have made more sense to store all this wool in the chests rather than just on the ground like this in piles? We
I'm
have
so
all these empty
confused.
chests. Where should I store my wool?
I like to think that because they look like Steve's clothes, that it's just like someone gave Steve a potion that made him this massive amalgamation of horror and flesh and
Oh,
wool.
I'm
And so
sorry,
now this is
Steve.
just a dead Steve.
I just jumped all over his corpse and dug into him a little bit to see if there was anything under it.
He ain't used it anymore.
Rip. Rip, Steve. Where's my torches? Oh, I'm running a little low on them. Let me make a few more real quick.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if there's a chance for diamonds to spawn in mansions outside of like chests, maybe.
Diamond blocks. I think that one of the statues has diamond blocks in it.
Want to carve into this guy's face and try to find one?
Yeah, one moment.
Please hold.
Torches. Do you need any torches? I just made more than I can carry. Well, not more than I could carry, but too many.
No, I'm doing all right.
All right.
You know what I can use the chest room for is dropping off all this junk.
Do you have any bundles?
I do, but I just don't need to bring almost broken plain golden armor and bows
That's
with me.
true. That's true.
So
I'm also going to do the same thing. Get rid of
quick
this
dump.
helmet. I'll get rid of the round flesh too. Keep all the other mob drops.
It sounds like there's a party going on upstairs.
Oh, let's go check that out.
Just keep hearing a lot of moaning and groaning.
Were there more rooms this way? Oh, this is cute. Whatever this is.
A little tomb, maybe?
Very cute. Oh, you know what? I bet there are illagers back here. Let's carve around his face.
Yes.
There's a
Oh,
room.
there's one.
Oh,
That
is this
was
the room
the-
we were in before?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna put the dark oak planks back then, I guess. And we can go back up the stairs.
I just wanted to make sure there was nothing else behind here, because
Yeah.
sometimes there is.
Never know. Never know. Yeah, they must be up on the second floor. Oh. Come through here. Let's take a picture with our friend. Big tall guy. You want to stand on the other side of his nose?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll face you a little bit. There we go. Bring out my sword, because I'm tough. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, and... Oh, get rid of the shield, because otherwise it's in my picture.
I was going to do an emote, but I forget what the emote
I think it's
button is.
V? C? V? Oh, I can't see. I can wait for you to do the emote if you want. Just tell me when.
I don't think I'll find it.
I don't. It's one of the lower, the bottom row of letters.
Oh, there we go. Oh, man. No, it's going to make me map them. Forget it.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Just like real life. Hold on, I'm gonna take a picture real quick. Oh, what was that? Was that an Enderman? I think I found a tall boy again. Yep, tall boy. It's like, what was that over there? Just an Enderman. Your bestie.
So handsome.
So tall. So slender.
Tall, dark, and handsome, truly.
All right, second floor time.
Second floor, scary floor.
Oh, I was just about to put. Oh, here's Johnny. Oh, I took my shield off for the picture. Put it back. Oh, squishy, little squishy. Oh, and yeah. No, don't hide behind the wall. Heh, still got you.
I love this little witchy room.
Oh, I'll follow you that way.
Just lots of flowers and.
Oh, this is cute. I like the ceiling.
Right?
Oh.
It's kind of like a lattice.
Yeah, like where like a trellis or something.
Yeah.
Cute. A lot of weird hallways. Oh, empty room right here. Oh, oh, oh! Big guy. Big guy. Okay. Oh
Very-
no! Oh no!
Ah!
Oh no!
Hey,
Oh no!
cut it
Where are
out.
they? Where are they? Come here. Come here, you. Get. Oh, they went through the floor. All right, we gotta kill this guy.
I got two of them.
Okay, we gotta kill the. Oh, there's two of them, and a creeper. Oh god. Oh god. Did you just kill all of them? Oh, I'll take care of this guy. Oh, he went back through the floor.
Health.
Oh, he's still here. There's still one. There's still one.
Got him.
Haha. What? Okay, weird room. Okay. Oh, I think maybe there's something under this.
Ooh.
Oh, I
never
got a
seen this kind
totem.
of room.
Did you get any totems?
No.
I picked up two. Here, take this one.
Okay.
Oh,
There's one
just-
behind you too.
Oh.
I think we killed
Nice.
3 of them.
Oh yeah, you killed two of them, and then I killed the third one, I think. All right,
The
doesn't seem
creeper took 2 of them out for us.
really.
Yeah.
I'm glad we still got the totems from it. What the
I'm trying
heck?
to figure out what this is supposed to be because it looks like if you stand where I'm standing and you look in, it looks like it's supposed to be something, but I can't figure it out.
Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa,
Whoa.
buddy. Whoa.
I'm at 2 hearts. I gotta
Oh, yeah.
recuperate
Take
a
a
little bit.
second. Did you get your totem? Could hold that in the meantime.
Oh yeah, good call. All right, I should be fine.
I'm just gonna light up this room. The board room with the flowers. This is cute. Little library kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. The only thing I can
Should
think, it kind of, the face reminds me a little bit of a Blaze, but then there's no body. It's
Mm.
got to be some. Oh, maybe it couldn't be a Vex, right? It would have wings or something.
Is that like the nega
Uh,
allays?
yes, exactly. I'm curious what this is. Is this supposed to be a bed? Like the weirdest color sheet set? Mitchie says it looks like an upside down pig face. Which I can see that. I'm really intrigued by this desk that looks into the weird cobblestone room. Like, just sit here and do my writing, and what is going on in here? All right. I guess we should go back out this way and down the hallway. Did you find anything in there?
No, I thought I would, but I didn't.
Oh! Ah! Ah! Thank you. I was not prepared for that at all. I was like, what's hitting me? Oh, here comes another. Ah. Get wrecked.
Whoa.
Ah! Where are they all coming from?
Yeah, do they just keep spawning in?
No, they don't. That's the thing. Once you clear the mansion, other than like regular mob spawns that can spawn in, you don't get them again.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Wow, I guess there's just a lot of them here.
They must have been down the hall or something and just wandered into range. Okay, what's in here? Like a big dining hall. This must be where they all were.
Mm.
They were enjoying a brew, and they're like, "There's intruders." Oh, okay. Scary guy.
Brother.
Got him. Want another totem? Now I have 3. One for you.
Sure.
There you are.
Thank you.
Anytime. You provided me with my first totem. It's only right to share the rest. And this is where the fancier people dine, I guess? Or is this a meeting? This is very
Yeah, I
important
wanna-
information.
Yeah, what's the caste sort of structure in Illager Hood? You know, I want to know what that hierarchy looks like.
Yeah, who's in charge? It must be the evokers, the ones that summon the Vex. I
Mhm.
imagine. Like, you don't want to mess with that. They can really mess you up. Other guys just got axes. Like, scary, but... Did I hear another one?
I think there's more upstairs, maybe?
Yeah, is there another... Do the stairs go up more over here? Oh, you know what? There's a whole other side of the staircase we didn't go down.
Right.
Because we went this way. What a little witchy room was. Still dark out. How's my inventory? Oh, just a couple broken axes. No big deal.
Ooh.
Something down there.
Yeah. Creeper.
Nothing good in there. Like, we haven't really found a treasure room.
Are there treasure rooms?
This chest is just full of alliums. That's treasure, I guess. Like I said, I think some of the statues, the wool statues, have diamonds inside them, I think. Pretty sure.
Hmm. Andrew's here.
Andrew's here. It's a wild Andrew core. So was these, maybe they were making Steves, like the way we make iron golems. Maybe they were making Steves out of wool.
Oh yeah.
Because here's more Steve color. And here the dark blue pants, and then a little bit for the shirt.
Those are incubating. Let them be.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think I found the source of all the noise.
Oh, is this another floor?
It's the stairwell behind.
Oh. 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 Hi, Creeper.
Oh.
Sorry,
Not like this.
I didn't want to explode him.
Not like this.
All right, Matt, you have a good one. Thanks for being here.
A Christmas meal.
All right, I'm gonna light up and then kill this creeper here.
I can probably just kill all of them right here.
I was trying to just take out the creeper. I didn't want to accidentally explode him in here. Ooh. Oh, what's hitting me? Where'd you come from? All right, so that was just a few random spawns, right?
Mhm.
How do we get out? All right, was there anything back here? There's doors.
it.
What are these doors? This is like a closet? Okay. Panic room? Oh, there's a little loft area in here.
I was really hoping that there would be a cat statue in this one.
Yeah, maybe upstairs. We haven't gone up onto the third floor yet. Speaking of cat, in this chest, there's the cat disc. Not that we
Oh.
need any more copies of it. I have like so many of them. A little bit of resin, a couple pumpkin seeds, and a lead. I'll take the lead. I'll take the lead. So that's kind of cool that they have resin, but it does make sense since these only spawn in the dark oak biomes and the
Oh yeah.
pale. Yeah. Oh, you're upstairs.
True.
Anything up here? Oh, little gap in the floor. Watch your step. Mind your step.
Mind the gap.
Anything in these closets?
What's behind door number 2?
Nothing. They're both empty. I don't really get that. But there might be something up there. There was a chest in the other loft I came across.
Meow. Oh yeah.
Anything good?
I got a Vex armor trim.
Ooh. I don't know if we have that one.
Yeah, I have I don't think I do. Yeah, because you can only find it in mansions and we haven't found a mansion, right?
That's true. Yeah, if it's the mansion one. I wonder if there's more than one
Yeah.
from the mansion or if that's it.
Let me put this in my ender chest, just in
Smart.
case.
Very smart.
Because... Meow.
But that seems to be the entire... Unless there's something behind here. It looks like maybe there's another room behind this that we can't get to. So where's my axe?
Take a peek.
Oh, yep. There's more to it, so we can just bust through that.
Hello. Welcome to Starbucks. What can I get you? Bam.
Yeah, he was rude. That's what we do to rude customers. All right.
If only.
Oh, I didn't take out my axe. I took out one of the illager axes. I'm like, why is it going so slow? Excuse me. Were they having important meetings in here?
I want to slink around like.
Oh,
I'm in
creeper,
Ocean's
creeper,
11 or
creeper,
something.
creeper.
Blah, 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 blah.
No. I couldn't switch to my any of my weapons. Oops.
Well, we didn't die.
We didn't
So-
die. No, we didn't even come close, but we did destroy the place a little bit. I'm just gonna try to Rebuild.
Is this going to affect our rating on Airbnb?
Possibly. That makes sense. Oh, good. You had more. Oh, there's stairs. Maybe these stairs had something to do with it. Yeah, that's exactly how this looked, right? Perfect. Nailed it. Oh, God. Was there another one? Did you kill it?
There's just a monster room.
Oh. Where's my... I'm missing something on my hotbar. What was here? Food. My food. Alright. Light up in here. This floor ended up being the most dangerous.
I just got exploded by a creeper.
Oh, no. You alright, though?
Yeah, he took out the a portion of the library.
Oops. Couple name tags, a little bit of gunpowder, couple bones, a little bit of wheat. Nothing special in this one.
Alright, we're just gonna patch this up and no one's gonna know. How
No
would
one
they
comes
know?
on the 3rd floor. No.
How would they know?
Gigantic bed.
Give me that. Give me an Alaskan king.
Let's take another selfie on the giant bed.
Have you ever seen an Alaskan king before?
No.
You should Google it. Ooh, there's banners up there.
Ooh. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've never noticed those before. That's kind of nice.
The master bedroom.
Was this the library that got partially exploded?
Don't worry about it. Oh my god.
I love it. Oh, I don't love that. Don't love the creeper up on there. Let's...
I am obsessed with this.
Alright, real quick. I'm just gonna check if there's any diamonds in it.
Ad break in 2.5 minutes.
Thank you. Alright, there doesn't seem to be any diamonds in the chicken's butt. I checked. Thoroughly.
There should just be an egg block, and the only place you can find it is inside one of these.
Want a picture with the chicken?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Hey, wait, hang on, let me get that thing off of its...
Oh yeah, make him look extra pretty. And I'm actually gonna get rid of this torch because it's in my field of view. Not rotten flesh. There we go. There, alright. First.
How should I pose?
I'm gonna take off my shield for a second. I'm gonna hold a totem for this one. Yeah. Alright. And one. Oh, I forgot to get rid of that. Hold on. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Try one more. I moved the mouse a little bit too much. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Yay. Thank you. We really came here for the photo ops. We're just tourists. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Let's see. Another one of those witchy rooms. Anything in the chest? More alliums. And I'm guessing that spider's outside. It sounds pretty distant. No Mulder room, though. How sad.
So sad. I can't believe I found one right away in that random world that I made the other day. And 2 of them right next to each other.
There should at least be 2 in every single mansion. That's what I think.
I agree.
But I believe we've explored the whole thing now, unless there are more hidden rooms downstairs that we didn't come across. But it's really hard to tell on the lower floors. Up here, I only knew there was more because I could see the room through the other window. I'm like, we have a bed over there. Hey, Khaki Kayaks, how are you? Oops. How do we get out? Was that just behind the chicken, or what was that?
There was a villager thing on the other side. I just wanted to see if there was anything behind it.
Oh. I see. You know what? Maybe that does show us there's like a hidden room or something. I feel like the there we go.
Mm.
I'm like, I feel like his nose was spawnable. It's very dark.
I think that's it.
Did we go in here? I'm just gonna dig through this wall real quick. Yes, we were in this boardroom. Yeah, that seems to be the whole mansion. At least we got the Vex armor trim. That's exciting. We didn't have that.
Do you think in this room they were making like the female equivalent of a Steve?
I think they were trying.
The experiments didn't work. Or maybe they did.
Maybe they did.
Maybe.
Who's to say? But this was fun. Thank you for finding it.
Mm-hmm.
And for finding a gigantic pale garden. Goodness. I want to fly over. I feel like it was much bigger than we actually explored. Are you happy with your singular creaking boy, or did you want to get more of them?
I'm alright with just the one that I got, because you can make more, right?
Yes, with resin and the pale logs.
Sweet.
Oh, my wings aren't on. I'm like, why aren't I flying? Yeah, this is a huge one.
It's so big. I love standing on the roof and just looking out. Like all the trees on the side of the mountain too. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can see like the height of it. It's cool. Pretty big one. Did you fly out beyond this at all?
Not much farther, I don't think.
Looks like a lot of ocean ahead.
Well, I can give you your airspace back.
My airspace?
Your mic space.
Oh, gotcha.
Like,
Like, I'm in
how
the
it-
air. I don't need any more space than this. But this was fun. Thank you for finding it and for exploring it with me.
Of
And
course,
you better
come
give
for
me a
another one.
copy of that
Oh, right. That's what I
out
should go home
there
and do.
thing.
Well, I will do that, and if I find any more fun ones, I will let you know.
All right, sounds great. I'm gonna fly around and fill up the map a bit.
Okay, and don't die.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Not that she's gonna be in chat anyway. But hello. Glad you're doing well, Khaki. I am also doing just fine today. We just did a little bit of exploring with Jules. I'm gonna fill up this map while we're over here. And get out of here before any of those guys attack me. And let's turn on the music again. I forgot to turn that back on. There we go. Isn't Jules the best? So y'all better go follow Jules, like, right now. Because maybe if we give Jules more follows, she'll stream more. That's what I'm thinking will happen. So, go follow Jules. She is beauty. She is grace. All that jazz. Mitchie's got to head out. All right, Mitchie, you have a good one. You take care. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great weekend if I don't see you. Jojo asked, did I map this area? Good idea, Jojo. Hopefully I didn't miss anything else while we were in there. I didn't pay attention to you guys too much. How does your cat stay in their bed for so long? Oh, he's sleeping right now, that's why. Nap time. Already followed. Very good. Thank you for following. Oh, big pit. Big pit. Goodness. Oh. I almost fell into the pit. Oh, there's a portal. I'm not gonna mess with that one. That one's like mostly lava. Hello? Wall? We might not map the whole thing. Just mostly around the forest. I wanted to see if it showed up differently on the map. How am I on rockets? Is that it? Just 35? All right. Do one more little loop-de-loop and then we'll head home. It's hard to see at night. A lot of birch. Got a few thousand blocks to go. That map's not going to do us any good anymore, so I'm just going to put my shield back. Is that just lava, probably? Lava. Right? It's so dark and so rainy. I guess we could have landed and slept before we went. Ugh. The only thing worse than flying in the rain at night is flying in the snow at night. Ugh. Look away. Teeny tiny cherry biome. $4,000 blocks to go. You just found a skeleton horse on top of a canopy? Canopy. Canopy. Fun. Is it just the one or is it the whole crew? Is he just wandering around on his own? You prefer the snow to the rain, at least it's quiet. Fair. Fair. Two of them. Huh. Wonder what happened there. Time to go fix dinner. All right, Jojo, you have a great time. Great weekend. If I don't see you around, enjoy your dinner. I think we'll probably wrap up shortly after we get back home anyway. Jules, are you rescuing the skeleton horses? Because I do have a couple at my house if you want a couple. If it's too difficult to get them home. You're bringing these home too? All right. Happy travels. Let me know if you want us to sleep or anything. What is that? Is this someone's hidey hole? It would appear so. Mine? Is it my hidey hole? Oh, I think we're near Kong's base now. Somewhere over here. Ish. Might be crafting some mines later. All right. If you didn't know, JoJo is also a streamer. He often streams... There's Jules' base. He often streams Sudoku, but he sometimes streams Minecraft. So I'll probably tune into that if I can later. Should be almost home. There's the lighthouse. I love how on one side the lighthouse comes into view first, and on the other the witch's tower does. Safe and sound. Ish. Alright, let's get in the house here. What goodies did we find? We got another totem, so I'm going to keep one in here. And I guess we'll keep one on us. But not in my hand at all times. We don't need that. I'm going to put away the mob drops we found. Got that. We got some string and some rotten flesh. A couple name tags. Put those in here. There. A broken bow, few emeralds, carrot. Oh, I gotta craft these into blocks. Found like an enchanted golden apple while we're out, right? Yep, there's the enchanted efficiency 1 apple. I don't even know where to put this right now. I'm gonna put it in with my other valuables, I guess. I love that it has efficiency 1 on it. That's special. So we have 2 totems in storage and 1 on us. Now we have 3 whole totems. So that goes there, that goes there. Chest plate. I can put away the bottles of enchanting, and the bed can go in here. Oh, thank you, Gressy. And no problem, Red. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate anyone who just pops in to say hi, or the lurkers. You're all fantastic. Blocks, food, rockets. That can go upstairs. This is the new map. We'll sort out the map room later. White carpet can go in here. The new wood. I have so much of this wood now because I chopped down a whole bunch of the trees to make the ones I wanted in the forest. And then we got, let's combine this bow with this one. Sure, why not? Why not? That up there. And that can go in here. Got one more of the flowers and a map. Okay. We are gonna call it there for today. No problem, Hunter. You don't have to be chatting all the time. No big deal. Lurkers are more than welcome here. Alright, let's do a little stretchy. A little stretchy. Is everybody sitting up straight? Hydrating? Do you have any meds you need to take? Have you eaten today? Do a little check-in with your body. Oh my god, so many things just cracked. That felt good. Jules. Yeah, we're all gonna hydrate. We're all gonna hydrate. Take a big old sip of water, friends. Delicious, delicious. Now let's take a look. I have an idea of where we could go. But let's see if there's anything else. Oh, you know what? Is he still going? All right, I know where we're gonna go. We don't have the chance to raid this person very often, because normally he's streaming earlier than I am. Thank you so much for the follow, Red Assassin. That reminds me, if anyone else is hanging out today and isn't already following, please consider it. I'm trying to get to 444 followers here. And I think we're at 441 now, if I'm not mistaken. Just want to double check. 442! 2 away from 444. I have a thing for even numbers and, like, duplicate numbers. So it says 442 on this screen now. Hey, Seiken. Hello, hello. We're just wrapping up right now. But thank you for popping in. I hope you're doing well. If you aren't familiar with Seiken, Seiken is also a streamer. I don't know why I said it like that, but you're a streamer. You should give Seiken a follow. He does a lot of fun stuff over on his stream. Some tabletop gaming, some Pathfinder, all that fun stuff. So if you're a nerd, you might like it. I say that with love. But we are gonna wrap up for today. I gotta go mod. Is Joe already live? Is Joe live? That's not where I'm sending you, but I just want to see. Is she live already? She is. She's been live for 20 minutes. So I'm going to go hang out in Joe's stream. But I'm also going to hang out in Peter's stream, PLJ. He invited us to the Bedrock Legends server. And we don't get to raid into him like ever. So let's go say hello to him. Grab your raid calls here. Hot and fresh raid calls. There we go. Oh, if I spelt right. Sub raid. There we go. If you're subscribed, you should have the emotes for that second one. You can copy paste that. We took a sip of water. We're going to take another one. We're going to take another sip of water. And we're going to change over to the right screen. We're ending. Stream ending. There we go. Everybody take a big old sip of water. All right. Take care of yourselves. Be kind. I should be streaming again tomorrow morning, I believe, around 9 a.m. Eastern-ish. Also, we're on all the socials. We got the Instagrams. We got the YouTubes for the VODs. We got the Discord now. And we're also on Blue Sky. And we have that fourth wall shop as well. So, catch me on all those places. I'll see you when I see you. Let's go say hello to Peter. Have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever, folks. Okay, bye!